possibility. All right, so that's what's at stake for Seattle. Let's go to Washington taking on the Panthers. No Alex Smith in this game, so Dwayne Haskins gets the start. And if Washington wins, they can lock up this NFC East. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter here. Muff punt, recovered, Panthers, touchdown. Just like that, Washington's down at home in a game they need to win. Midway through the second quarter, Haskins intercepted by Tahir Whitehead. What did Haskins see on that play before that throw? And then here, Teddy Bridgewater, Anderson, 14-yard touchdown, and the Panthers are up 20-0. Haskins would end up getting benched in the fourth quarter. Taylor Hinkie comes in. It's 20-13, 4th and 18 chance. Washington loses 20-13 your final. Here's Ron Rivera in his quarterback situation.
You remember last week we came out at halftime, we moved the ball and put ourselves in position to score. That's why I did what I did. Okay. Well, we didn't get anything going, so I decided to make the change. That's why we made the change. The one thing I thought was when we came out last week, all right, we were able to move the ball and put points on the board. So I was hoping for that same thing. The only problem was, unfortunately, they went on a 7.5 minute drive to open up the third quarter and until we got the takeaway.
Ron, what did you think of Taylor Heinicke's performance?
Oh, I thought it was gutsy. I thought he took advantage of what they were doing in terms of playing soft and, allowing him to take the underneath, allowing him to hit certain throws. I thought his decision to take off and run was outstanding. I thought he had great vision. He went through his progressions, read the offense out, and gave us a chance, which is all you can ask.
If Alex can't he remain the starter?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see how Alex is doing, and we'll go from there.
All right, Tim, let me start with you. Clearly, not a quarterback situation that any coach would want, especially one, though, that's trying to get to the playoffs. What did you make of Haskins today, again, in a situation where Alex Smith, the starter, couldn't go because of injury, and Haskins, who's had multiple chances to start, couldn't get it done?
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins played terribly. I mean, there's really no other way to describe it. And it's really disappointing to think that, a player that was signed off the street in the middle of the season, can come in and kind of spark the offense and do things better than, a guy that was a first-round draft pick and as you said, Michael, has been given multiple opportunities to kind of be the guy. So, look, I don't think that Washington has a chance unless Alex Smith, is healthy enough to be back into the lineup. And that's really saying something because, Dwayne Haskins has a lot of physical ability. There's other aspects to playing the position, and he hasn't been able to do it. I think it's got to be one of the more discouraging things that we have seen this season is kind of how Dwayne Haskins has kind of squandered the opportunity that he's been given to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. In more ways than just on the field. So that's a problem, and I think it's something that Washington, kind of found out, sooner rather than later, which is a little bit surprising.
Yeah, and Rob, I don't want to put all this on Dwayne Haskins because, this football team's had chances all season long, and like every other team in the NFC East, it seems like no one really wants to take control and win this division. What are you making of a Washington team that knew all they had to do was win and couldn't get it done?
Well, it looks like they were asleep at the wheel when they came in to play this football game. You let up some scores that you never want to see. Your quarterback play, 2 turnovers. Then you put in a guy out there that really, you didn't think was ever going to get a start or get out there and play in a regular season game. So Haskins seems like he's just not the guy there. He's not going to be the guy. I'd be surprised if he's there next year, honestly. So you look at that team right now. They have a young, promising defense. You got Chase Young. You got all the hype with the rookie that was drafted high, and he's going to be a great football player, and he's a good football player. But this team, to not have the motivation to understand that they control their own destiny and go out there and play better, it just makes you realize that division, it really doesn't matter. Does it really matter who wins that division championship? I really don't see a team that's going to bring it together for a playoff run And I'm sure anybody in the NFC is not afraid to play the division winner from the East. That I can guarantee you.
And you may be right in that, Rob, but someone's got to win this thing. But by Washington losing, that opened the door for Dallas and potential. Wow, so much has happened over the last couple of weeks here in the NFL, trying to figure out who's going to the playoffs and who's not. I need some help to discern all of this stuff. We got Tim Hasselbeck and Rob Ninkovich with us, guys. I don't know about you, but every time I turn around, something crazy's happening, and I'm like, there's a team that can still make the playoffs. It's kind of weird. You can talk, please.
It absolutely is. Listen, you said the Bears. You said, hey, the Bears are still alive. Listen, that was my takeaway last week, Michael. It was like, hey, the Bears are still alive and actually played some pretty good football. Yeah, this is the time of year where, listen, you're celebrating the holidays, but your head is also spinning with every possible scenario. You know, this team loses, this team's out. It's hard to keep it straight.
All right, well, let's check it out.
Well, I'm just
go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just saying, I'm excited for next week. I want to see what happens in week 16, week 17, see what happens.
All right, so the Rams taking on the Seahawks. All the Seahawks had to do was win this game, and they know they win the division. Easier said than done, but not so hard when Jared Goff is turning the ball over like that. Quandre Diggs returns it out to the 35. Goff has his 23rd game with a turnover since the start of last season, most in the NFL. Seattle, though, would kick a field goal, not get a touchdown. Let's go to the third quarter. The game's tied at 6. Russell Wilson drifts left. He's like, you know what? I got room to get in there. Easy breezy. Seahawks take a 13-7 lead. Ensuing drive for L.A. 4th and goal, they're going for it. Malcolm Brown stopped. Seahawks defense comes up huge. So L.A. would get it back. Over the middle, Goff to Gerald Everett. That's a first down. But check this out. Goff hits his hand on the defender's helmet. Appears to dislocate his thumb. Clearly in pain. What do you do? You just pop it back in place. Done it before. It happened. Rams would kick a field goal. So now it's 13-9. Russ to Jacob Hollister. And there it is. Seahawks will go up 20-9, and that would be your final. Molly McGrath has more from Seattle.
DK, you guys are NFC West champs. What can this team accomplish in the postseason?
Man, just a lot of momentum going into the postseason is what we're looking for. You know, this is the first time we've won it in 4 years, so it's a blessing just to be a part of this team.
I hear some of your teammates running into the locker room saying the words Super Bowl. Do you guys have lofty goals like that this year?
I mean, that's always the goal at the beginning of the season. So, I mean, it's in our reach, and we control our own destiny. So, I mean, we can go back to work on Monday and finish the season out strong.
Russell Wilson was sacked 5 times in this game. What kind of toughness did you see out of your quarterback in this grinded-out win?
I mean, he hasn't been hurt in 9 years, so, I mean, that just says a lot about his toughness.
All right, thank you, DK. Congrats.
All right, so Seattle gets it done. Rob, your thoughts on what you saw?
Well, sometimes as a man, you have to admit when you were wrong. And I was wrong about Seattle's defense. Hats off to Ken Norton Jr. He was able to get this team to play at a level that I really didn't think that they could get to. And in the last few weeks, everyone was saying, yeah, the defense looks better, but they haven't really played anybody. And when they're playing the Rams, and this game was the biggest game of the year for them, and they came through with huge stops. And you hold Goff to 234 yards, a massive interception there in the red zone, stopping them on 4th down in the red zone. So these turnovers that they created basically won them this game, and it kept them in the game. So if they weren't able to make those plays, I don't know if they would have won this football game. So for them to move forward and have Super Bowl expectations, their defense has to play better. They played better, and they made a believer out of me. I mean, look, now I watch this tape. I say, look, they can do it. They can stop the run. They can stop the passing game. So, I mean, they look impressive today.
Yeah, and that's the one knock that so many people had about Seattle in terms of making a deep playoff run was that defense. But they stepped up today when they're trying to win that division. But let's be fair in terms of what happened here too, Tim, because if you look at L.A., some of the decisions that Jared Goff made, questionable might not be a strong enough word.
Yeah, Rob might be apologizing too early. Don't be so eager to admit you were wrong, because you really might not be. Look, they faced a quarterback that I think is just really struggling with his confidence, and it shows in his decision making. And that's really the most important thing you do as a quarterback, is make good decisions, protect the football, and give your team a chance. And I think there are just times. This is a 3rd and 10. Basically, in a field goal range scenario, you have the ability to make a good decision here. Either carry the football or spit the ball outside. Doesn't do that, incomplete pass. Similar situation, same part of the field. Run, pick up 5 yards, something. But whatever you do, do not turn the football over in this situation. There just seems to be kind of this unwillingness to be a runner. There seems to be kind of this hesitancy in terms of making decisions. And he looks to me right now like a quarterback who's kind of shook, which is really a problem for this Rams team, because if you look at them, they probably have a championship caliber defense, and they have other pieces in place as well, but the quarterback has to pull